Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are going to be looking at some brand new Gucci eyeshadow palettes. Well, kind of really face palettes. Now I know. I have reviewed every Gucci eyeshadow palette to date that has come out, and I have disliked all of them. And I said, never again, never again. So you might call me a sucker.
Sucker!
I heard that. But they drew me in because I'll tell you why. Let's just hold up one as an example. We'll get some more in here in a moment. But this is a face palette. I know you're going to say, oh, honey, any eyeshadow palette can be used as a face palette, please. True. But these were designed as such. We have 3 powders, 2 mattes in each one, a shimmer and a cream. And they can be used on eyes, on face. The shimmer is meant for eyes or to highlight. I know you could do that with any palette. I do know that. But the cream can be a cream cheek. It could be a cream that goes on the eyes. It could be on the lips. I am wearing actually one of the palettes now over my entire face. And depending on skin tone, even with a palette like this, the browns can be used even as bronzer. I love a face palette. As much as I disliked the original Gucci eyeshadow palettes, and boy did I dislike them, is as much as I really love face palettes. So they got me here. So let me show you what I got. These are $69 each, and perhaps by the time that this comes up and by the time you're watching it, I will have them linked in my description bar for purchase. Right now, as I go forward with this video, I don't have a link because I got mine on SaksFifthAvenue.com and they're just not there right now. So as soon as I find them coming up again, I will let you know. There are 3 of these Gucci palettes. I picked up 2. I figured that was enough to get an idea. I did safe and I did risky. Let me tell you what I did. I did the Summerina Brown, which I figured definitely counts as safe. And we will do a look and swatches in 2 different lightings. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do it that safe, I will go in the other extreme. And I did the Wild Bouquet as my second choice. There is kind of a middle ground between the 2 as well. And again, each one is $69. With these, again, we have a shimmer that can be used on eyes or on face. We have a cream that can be used on lips, eyes, or cheeks. And then we also have 2 powders that are eyes, cheeks, whatever you want to do with them. And we're going to try them both on. First of all, I want to look at them in 2 different lightings. Let's start here in studio lighting on the left. I think it's pretty obvious. I have swatched the Summerina Brown in the same order that you would see it in the palette when you open it up. And on the right, that is obviously the Wild Bouquet version. These are 4 very, very versatile shades in very different formulations, and I like that. I hand that to Gucci. $69 price tag. It's Gucci. We know they are expensive, but it is nothing like the price of the much larger eyeshadow palettes. Why did I never like the larger eyeshadow palettes? I did not think the colors or shades performed well. I thought the color stories were weird, and I thought they were oddly clunky with that strange refillable section, as if you had a keepsake to keep things in, but there was nothing you could keep in that shallow dish, and then no refills. It just never made any sense to me, but these actually do, I'm happy to say. All right, let's take them outside into the warm California sunshine. I always end up doing a weather report. We've had so much rain and it went away. We are back to warm weather and sunny skies ahead. Take a look here with the Summerina Brown on the left and the Wild Bouquet on the right. Very pretty, and I do feel that these perform so much better than what we had seen, but I would like to demo both of them so you can see how they perform. Pay particular attention to the second demo, which is the one I'm wearing now, the Wild Bouquet. I think it is actually incredibly interesting, and I'm glad I took the chance. Stay right there. Okay, we're going to start with Summerina Brown, which won't get the benefit of mascara and eyeliner. Forgive me, I'm just saving my eyes, but we will use it as a face palette. Right now, I am just wearing a base of concealer and foundation. A little bit of color corrector, too, if you've been following along. I have been definitely trying some out. Okay, starting with the Summerina Brown, we got eye and face. This is a little bit of a highlight, so let's go ahead and highlight with it on the cheeks first. Let's do the face before we do the eyes. And so we will do a little bit of this on the face. It's very subtle and kind of pretty. little bit on the nose. And that looks very, very, very pretty, I think. Hopefully that's picking up on camera. And then we have, this could go on the cheeks, but that seems, I don't know about that on the cheeks. Let's use this cream shade right here. Can go for eyes and cheeks. So I'm just kind of dotting it on with my fingers. And just a really nice little cheek shade, like a little cream blush. And remember, we can use all these shades on the eye as well. Something about this face palette status is so appealing to me, but that's not really a surprise because I love face palettes. Okay, using my hands just gently over the face, just to kind of warm it up. Just very, very pretty. And I'm going to use a little bit of this on the lips, and then we'll go to the eyes. Okay. Probably could use a little bit of gloss, but the whole point of today's video is just to try this on. And I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder and I am seeing that I'm fairly flushed. I just want you guys to be able to really see the shade. In terms of my everyday life, probably a bit much, but I'm just really trying to give you an overall impression of how things look. Very good. And I think this kind of on the cheeks, if I did a little bit of bronzer today, but that would actually be a nice bronzer. All right, let's go ahead and start working with these. All of them work on the eye. So let's start with this really nice shade right here, which is just a really nice matte shade, and just put that into the crease. I like how these shades are working. Gucci, I'm so much happier with these palettes than I ever was with those big, ridiculous ones. Not to harp on about that, using a smaller brush here, same shade. But you guys know I absolutely hated them. Oops, didn't blend the blush there. Okay. Okay. Switching back in my Rephr brush to this right here. This is a Rephr number 1, by the way, which is one of my favorite brushes in the world for eyeshadows. And there we go, with a little bit of a darker shade there. I am going to forego the red, or the, rouge shade, I should say, and just go right here all the way over onto the eye and even into the center. And I'm just using my finger. There's no fallout or nothing. And it is very, very pretty. You will have to use your imagination for eyeliner and mascara, which is needed. And please remember that the very rougey red cheeks are just to give you an idea of color and not a tutorial to copy to head out for your day. I think that the cream on the lips is very nice, and it's not, sometimes cream on the lips can almost feel like you have a powder on your lips. If it's a multi-purpose product, I mean, not a regular straightforward lipstick. This isn't quite like that. I do feel the slip and the creaminess, but I would probably, for everyday use, put some sort of a gloss over it, I think. But a very pretty look, if I do say so myself. Very interesting, different, and good for travel. I have saved the Wild Bouquet, which is A, more interesting in terms of shades, and B, more adventurous / scary in terms of shades. And that will get the benefit of mascara and eyeliner. So let me get this off and let's give it a try. Back with a clean face and a Wild Bouquet palette. Let's start by I brought over a lip brush this time to put into the cream. I think that'll be a little bit more precise. And here is a much darker shade on the lips. And I do stand by my initial assertion with the last palette that this would benefit from a little bit of gloss, but there's nothing wrong with it on the lips. It is not particularly drying or comfy. It kind of just is on the lips. So I think a little gloss would be nice. But that is your choice. And, I do tend to have very dry lips. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's start. I got some clean Rephr brushes, and we are going to start with the shimmer shade here to use. Also, can go on the eyes or cheeks, and I have cleaned the other off, so we're going to use this as a much more, wow, obvious highlight. Woo! Much cooler and more crystally. Okay, avoiding this as long as possible because it scares me. Okay, we got, okay, a cheek shade. Let's go for this little lavender shade on the cheek. Why not, right? Let's try it. Last time we did the cream shade on the cheek, and we could do that again, but I'd like to try this lavender shade and see what we think. Can I get it dark enough to show? And what do you think of it on the cheeks? I don't know what my hair's doing. Ignore it. It's got a mind of its own, I'm telling you. Okay, let's try some more. Little tough to get the brush in when you want to use one of these powders as a blush. Little tough to get the brush in, so I did want to warn you about that. Not my favorite cheek shade. That's an eye shade. I think it looks a little silly on the cheeks. I think it's a little too purple. My skin tone. You can let us know if your skin tone would provide for that. I think that's a little bit costumey on the cheeks and it's making me look a little bit like an ice princess. So let's go ahead and stick our finger into this here and just get a little bit of a more traditional cheek shade in the mix. Because yes, I personally, and perhaps it is skin tone, I personally don't love that crystally lilac as a blush. But you know, you can tell me now, do I like purple blushes in the past? Absolutely. I have the Armani cheek shade in some plums and things like that, but icy lavender, not so sure. Okay, now I think that makes it look a little bit more authentic, and this time I did not overdo it for the camera. All right, let me get some clean brushes in here. I've got a clean rougher number 1. I have quite a few of those. Let's go ahead with this lilac shade, which I do think will work very well on the eyes, though I don't think for me it's a cheek shade. You know, I would really love to hear from someone who says that this does look good on their cheeks. Not that I don't believe you, I don't mean that. But let us know your skin tone. Maybe medium, it would be pretty on a very medium to deeper skin tone. But on mine, not so much. Okay, that is lovely on the eyes. Very, very pretty on the eyes. All right, here we go. This is dark, so I'm concerned. Here is our very wild meadow shade, which I think looks so much different online. Oh, that's pretty, isn't that? That's actually quite pretty. I am, you know, a big old chicken, so I'm just putting this onto the corners, the outer corners. That's, you know, I just don't do really crazy wild eye looks, and so it suits me. And I'm going to take another rougher here, a 28, and we're going to run the same shade, knocking a little bit off underneath. And I think we should run it all the way underneath, almost like a little bit of a drop shadow. Even though there is some of the same shade above it. Okay, and then taking that same brush. Ooh, I'm kind of in love with this look, you guys. It's a little adventurous for me, but I think very, very pretty. And because we could use any of these, I'm not going to use that reddish cream on the eyes. That just seems a bit silly. But let's go ahead and I'm going to flip this brush over and take our really pretty crystalline highlighty shade and just put that into the inner corner, using the flat end of the brush and not the end that has any aqua on it. And just kind of run that onto the eye. Wow, that's really pretty. Again, the blush here would be matching the lip shade for my skin tone. That lavender was silly as a blush. But let me just take a look at myself real quickly. I think that's a really pretty look. And as you know, Gucci won me over by making face palettes. And you know, at least I'm winnable over a bowl. You know what I mean. Now, could any eyeshadow palette that you have in your collection double as a face palette? Especially if it has a cream that can be used for lips? Why, absolutely. But I do think these were designed specifically with that in mind, which makes a smidgen, if nothing else, of a difference in my mind. But you can let me know what you think about yours. Maybe you were more interested in the third color selection. You can let me know that as well. I will be getting links up. Perhaps by the time you watch this video, in the description bar there will be a link to purchase, but right now I have not found one, so you can let me know where you have seen it for sale, and I will certainly add that. Saks does not currently have it, as I might have mentioned. But let me know your thoughts. How do you think these compare with the larger eyeshadow palettes that I know over here on this channel were not favored very much? You know I did not like those, but I would just like to hear what you guys have to say in general. It's what makes us a community, so do comment below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so we can continue to grow, and come say a big hello and give me a follow over on Instagram and TikTok too. You can become a bigger part of this channel if you'd like to by giving super thanks, please, if you'd like to only, and by becoming a member. But in any way that you are involved, I'm just thrilled to see you here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.